Hey guys, and welcome to the latest in the SleepyTalk podcast. This week I'm joined again with Steve and Ryan. And as you know from last week, Jordan has left us on the podcasting side, but he is joining me and has joined me on the gaming side of things. So you'll see him dotted about all over the channel anyway. I'll leave a link to his Twitch in the description as a gesture of goodwill for all the help that he's given to me over the course of these podcasts. And I'd like to say on behalf of everyone over at the SleepyTalk podcast team, thank you, Jordan. Thank you very much. So
thank you, Jordan.
No, I said it. I said on behalf of
because I'm not part of the team. All right, no, carry on.
You are. That's why I said it. No. So last week we didn't really get into the sort of ins and outs of Steve. I've had many ins and outs with Steve, so I could tell you all about it. But Steve, seeing as you're here, you might as well explain what you're doing here, why you're here, who invited you, and why are you still here?
Alright, so Luke's invited me to come and host, or just talk, however you want to talk about it, as Jordan has left. I thought it was a good idea, as I can be quite reliable, and I just hope you guys like me.
I'm sure we will.
So what makes you qualified to join on this podcast?
I've got a microphone and a computer, and a voice.
You're in. You're hired.
I was going to say, that's all I had. I hope it wasn't anything more.
That's it. We've done it, boys. We've cracked it. We've got the third man. So, me and Steve go quite far back. So, I don't know. We've all had a little talk about ourselves during all the podcasts. I know we've heard enough of Ryan. So, why don't you tell the story of how we met and how beautiful it was?
I first met at a shop where I was working. Luke came in, wanted to buy some things, helped him out, set him up with a good deal, gave him some free stuff, and his friends. Then, a few months later, met him at a job that I'd gone for. He got it as well, and we've been best of mates since then.
Yeah. So, I went in, I bought some things, I got some free stuff. I didn't even know Stephen at this point, and he was just... I think you were sick and tired of that job you were in, weren't you? He was like,
I was sick and tired, and I could give stuff out for free, so why not give it out to people that seemed okay?
Oh.
Some of that reminds me of our story.
Yeah, it does a little
Come
bit.
to the shop, buy some stuff, get some free stuff. It's a nice life for you, isn't it, Luke?
It is. Except for I think you felt sorry for me more than anything when you gave me free stuff. And Kyle is part of the podcast, so we can slam him. Well,
yeah.
So
yeah, it's like I knew the pain that you would you'd been suffering.
So I met Ryan a few times before we actually became co-friends. No commitment.
Good choice of words. Good choice of words. Yeah.
Co-friends, no commitment, but friends. And I was working with Kyle for one of his business ventures, and Ryan is in the same industry. Link in the description down below. And we went to a festival, and Kyle was nowhere to be seen. And Ryan decided to stand next to me and help me sell things for Kyle's business because he felt so sorry for me. And we've been co-friends ever since.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
I was dressed up in full mixology garb as well, just standing by his stand. It made no sense.
And I'm there with clown stuff on. It was all good. But
and
anyway, carry on, Steve. Go on.
No, it's fine. I'd heard about Dreads quite a bit through a few other people. Not just Kyle. There's another Kyle I know. He'd mentioned him quite a bit.
Oh. Well, I am the king of vape, after all.
He never said there were good things that he heard.
Well, there's only so much good things you can say about vape fag, right? Anyway.
Wow. So me and Steve, after that point, we both applied for a job in tech, and we both got the job, and then we met on the training. And
interesting, that training.
It was good. It was better than the job. And that's why we both don't work together anymore, and we both don't work at that company anymore. But yes, I got Steve another job with Kyle. I didn't want that
Yeah.
job, and Steve was looking for a new job. So I was like, Steve, why don't you give this guy a message? And yeah, Kyle is the cement that brings us all together.
That's what he's good for.
Yeah, like
He just brings
something
people.
like that.
He brings good people together.
yeah. I mean, I don't think mine and Steve's friendship would have been solidified as much as if I'd not got him that job with Kyle. So now
maybe
Steve's
not.
Kyle's boss. So
Yeah.
so anyway,
And he hates it.
yeah. So yeah, that's the story of Balamory, really. Should we get into the spooky wookies? Because I feel like my retention's just plummeted. As soon as we were talking about
You
ourselves.
haven't done the SpookyWooky noise at all.
Yeah,
This
Steve.
podcast yet? No, it's you that do it. Remember, does it rather?
No, I only do it
No,
when
that's-
something is spooky wooky. So anyway, this week, I'm not gonna lie, it's not been organised at all. Really, I was gonna slam Ryan, but he turned up. So fantastic, good work. Thank you, co-speaker.
I'm nothing but dependable, man.
Yeah. So we were going to be talking about something specific, but I think we'll leave that till either next week or the week after. So this week it was just getting to know Steve and why he thinks he's qualified to come onto this podcast. So Steve, do you wanna take us through some things, some stuff?
Yeah, so I've had one thing that's happened to me when I was a child. It's nice and short, and it used to scare the living
It's a
hell
bit
out of
like
me.
you then, isn't it?
Yeah. Can't all be tall like you. So, I used to see a black figure hovering at my window at night.
Ryan?
Near enough every night.
Listen,
Bear in mind,
there was a reason I
wa-
was muted. All right, Collis. It took so much for me not to unmute and just like get in there before you did. But you know what? I thought I'd respect the podcast and not do it because he's not gonna do it on his own podcast, is he? Like,
Yeah.
But he did it. He did it.
says,
Yeah.
Ryan says I'm not even that short, so
Yeah, but the black figure at your window, Ryan? You met Steve
Oh, you
before
don't know
me?
Steve. Steve, you don't know Black, do you, Steve? You did. Nobody explained that to you, did they?
thank you.
Do
Just completely ruined me now.
you want to carry on, Steve?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Just used to wake up in the middle of the night, look towards my window. I used to have a street lamp directly outside my window. And there used to be just this black silhouette, like a figure there, that I'd be able to see through my curtains. Even if my curtains weren't open, could just still see it. Could never explain it, and it used to absolutely scare the living hell out of me.
Did it start whispering
would
Dreads
you-
Mango? Dreads Mango.
Listen, come on, stay on. Look, come on, Collis. This is your
Stay
show.
on topic,
Let's do
Luke.
this. Yeah. Why would you class that as why would you consider that a spooky wookie over a shadow of some kind?
Because there was nothing else in the area that could cast a shadow. The shadow looked humanoid.
It was it.
It wasn't just a black shadow. It was like a black shadow of a person. So you'd look at it, it's just like a black silhouette of a person, like stood at my window. But
Inside
I
or
wasn't on
outside?
I was outside, but I wasn't on the ground floor. So
No
obviously
trees.
flight upstairs. So
Because-
no trees, no nothing, just a
Okay.
quiet little cul-de-sac. That were it. Only thing close was the street lamp.
So that's really interesting, mainly for the point that I don't know whether Ryan was part of this podcast or not when we did one with Rizu, the Canadian girl.
I think I started afterwards.
Yeah, so Rizu was talking about shadow people, wasn't she? Shadow walkers,
Yeah.
or yeah. So that's quite interesting because she says that she sees them quite regular, but obviously you've had one during childhood. Now, I think it's interesting just of how you've described it, because that's how she described it on the other podcast. And I think theoretically children are meant to be more susceptible to paranormal things if they exist, or whether it's just sort of something that your brain mechanism copes with certain things, or if it's some sort of instinct. So you get your fight or flight response, your brain tricks you into being scared so that it can sort of like get you to run away or whatever. But it is really interesting to say that's not the first time we've heard it on this podcast.
I imagine it happens quite a lot, especially with children. I know my kids have been talking in the middle of the night to what I think's no one, but they think it's people there.
Saying that, yeah, that is a common sort of thing, you know, kids being more in tune to these SpookyWookies. I remember being told by an extremely religious person that holding a baby up to a mirror, they see the devil, which is why they always seem so shocked when they look in and they see their own reflection, or a lot of babies do. But
Never heard that one before.
No, me neither.
it was, yeah, this is back in the very involved with the church days growing up, well, far more than I am now, at least. And it just that alone, I was just like, well, yeah, I mean, I think I would get the concept of my reflection pretty quickly. Don't recall the first time I saw my reflection as a child, but seeing how children do go on at reflections, because I can't disprove it, there could be something there. So it makes it a bit easier for me not to dismiss sort of testimony of SpookyWookies when people are kids or when they talk about experiences they've had as children.
I'll throw a spanner in, just from sort of my knowledge and education and things like that. So the sense of self is a wonderful thing, and you reach that level of maturity in your development at around 7 years old. So you discover that you are a person at around that age. So if you see your reflection before you've reached that level of development, you are terrified because you don't know what's looking back at you. You don't know that that's you, sort of thing.
Okay.
So and
that makes sense completely.
So animals, a lot of animals don't have sense of self. They have their instinct, and there's not like imagination or anything that goes along with that. It is, I hunt, I eat, I sleep, I try not to die, or I eat, I sleep, and try not to die. So I know when I was in school, in science, the science windows were all reflective, and there was a few times where birds would clatter into the side.
Oh yeah, and I get that in my flat.
And try and kill their own reflection.
Not that. No, you went to some crazy school.
No, that was, it was just, I think it was a magpie at one point. It just started attacking the window. And I don't know if that's territorial or what, but obviously it didn't understand that was its reflection. And I think children are the same way. I don't think they understand it until they gain this sense of self. I'll try and leave a link in the description to, I will, in the description to sense of self, the actual sort of proper definition, but it is around 7 years old that you kind of...
That makes sense to me, just thinking about it, to be fair, just sort of, you know, absorbing that knowledge and applying it to myself. I'm like, yeah, I can see that. But I mean, what I take from that is you went to a school in some sort of Japanese horror film.
I didn't mean thousands of birds. I mean, like, it was like once every 3 years. I think it happened twice while I was there.
Okay.
But yeah, the windows were reflective. They had like silver reflective like cover over them.
Yeah, I remember going to a school with them.
Yeah. So nobody could look in, but you could if you went really close to the window and put your hands up as if you were making binoculars and things.
But I mean, who needs to be doing that at a school, right?
Yeah, who wants to look into the science class? Like, nobody. But yeah. So I think maybe, yeah, that might throw a spanner into your works. Just depends how you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I as you know, I'm not really, you know, I'm still on the skeptic side of things if I have to pick a side. But when I hear something that sort of links to something else, like, isn't that how truth is born?
Yeah, or ideologies. One or the other.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, just delving back into Steve's, because I don't think you were going to talk about your kids specifically, but we might as well go there as soon as you've mentioned it. Who are they talking to?
They wouldn't say. It was just could hear them at night talking. So gone in to see what was up, and it was one of my children awake. It was the middle one, Zach, and he was just sat talking to himself upright in bed, and questioned him about it next day, questioned about it then, and he just said he was talking to someone else and that was in the room. There was nothing else to it. He wouldn't say who it were, anything. Just
Are you the guy from
waffled and
Paranormal
waffled.
Activity?
Oh,
They wouldn't have been
maybe.
able to drag him out of the bed because his feet are that high up in it. That
Oh, look, you
Oh, God.
love the short jokes.
Yeah. Short and sweet, just like my boy Steve.
At least I'm sweet, not sour.
Yeah, that's a good point. Ryan.
There we go.
I prefer bitter, all right?
So,
But yeah, that was like in the later Paranormal Activity films when they tried to sort of flesh out what was going off in the first film. It came down to some sort of imaginary friend that one of the kids had, if I remember correctly. And
I
it
think
was
so,
like
yeah.
this spirit thing that was after the family for some sort of
Was that number 3
reason.
or number 2? Definitely
I
wasn't
think
the
it was
first
like
one.
2 and like it was 2. Yeah, 2 started it and then 3 sort of finished that story. But I feel like the first movie was cool. It was popular, so they were like, how do we milk it?
Yeah.
I know. Let's turn that into some sort of story.
It's the same as Insidious. The first Insidious was great. Loved it. I don't know if you've seen it, but that
Is that the one with
No.
the weird, like, sort of black spider ghost looking crazy
he looks
lady?
like Darth Maul in the trailer.
Yeah, I remember
Nah,
the
I don't
trailer.
think I've
Red
seen
and
it.
black painted face demon sort of thing appears behind
it's
the
not.
psychic. She's like, it's here, and then there's just the face, and she's like, that it is jump scare territory, that is. But
Okay.
no, it's. Do you know what? I've had an idea for what to do for one of the podcasts to get another guest. From what Steve's just
Okay.
been saying about his kids, I can recollect certain things from my childhood, but I don't know the full ins and outs. So it'd be interesting to get my mother on.
That'd be
Ooh.
interesting, yeah. Wow.
Yes, it would be. Could I be on that one?
Yeah. We can all
Sound.
be on that one. I might just get her in here, so we'll just share a microphone or something. Because I don't think she's got a computer. I think she just has tablets and stuff. Old vibes.
OG.
Yeah, yeah. She writes
Old mum's
scriptures on
equipment.
a tablet, brick and mortar. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
Sounds
it.
interesting,
I'm
yeah.
gonna do it, and then we'll talk about my childhood, and she can embarrass me as much as she wants, and I'll just edit it. But you guys will all know about
No.
it.
You got to keep it in.
I keep a copy of all of this anyway for posterity.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So yeah, that's. Thank you, Steve. You've brought something to the
No.
table. It's good job.
Thanks.
That's fine.
Thanks.
I'm not bitter. It's not like I'm here and I've been here for weeks and you sound as if now you finally got somebody to work with.
No,
Thanks.
I mean.
I'm not bitter, not at
all. No. I mean, you always bring something to the table,
Yeah,
Ryan.
yeah.
So it's about
Too
time
much.
Steve brought something, and he has. So
Brought
he's
something,
impressed
yeah.
me.
It certainly has
You know,
been.
I expect it from you, Ryan. That's why you get minimal praise, because it's expected of you.
Ooh.
But
Thanks.
you're welcome. That's because I have you in high thoughts. High thoughts. I hold you in high regard.
You sounded kind of high.
Yeah. So, right. So there was a second thing that you were going to talk about, weren't there, Steve?
Yeah, it wasn't so much that I'd seen anything or things like that. It's a bit of a local story to my area, and I could never bring myself to do it. So there's a tunnel in Killamarsh, it's called a Killamarsh Tunnel. There's a supposedly a ghost of a little girl that haunts this tunnel called Vicky. So locally we called it Vicky's Tunnel. So,
she sounds like
yeah.
a bike.
Oh,
This
yeah.
tunnel,
No.
this tunnel hates its name. Like,
Oh,
it's a
it
tunnel
does.
in Killarmarsh, and it's Killarmarsh Tunnel. And there's a
Yeah.
ghost called Vicky in there, so that's Vicky's Tunnel. Like, it wants to be named by somebody that has a bit of imagination, is what I feel. But carry on,
100%.
sorry.
So the way the story goes is a granddad and little girl walking from Balber through to Killarmarsh, where they lived. Halfway through walking through this tunnel, Vicky just disappeared. Grandad looked all around the tunnel, couldn't find her. This tunnel's pretty long, pitch black. So he's gone back into Killarmarsh, got a load of people, torches, stuff like that. Searched this tunnel, no trace of her at all. Then, obviously, as time's gone on, people have said they've seen her walking, laughing, talking, that sort of stuff. And me and a load of friends, about 15, decided we'd go down to this tunnel. Gone down to it, and literally just got to the entrance. Couldn't physically push myself to go into this tunnel. There was just something eerie and creepy about it. I just couldn't walk in. A few of my friends did. Got partially way in, come back, like, terrified. It's really hard to explain.
I say we
but
do it.
It is creepy as hell.
I say we do it.
You know what, right? You got that towards the start of that story. I was thinking, Luke's gonna try and get us to do this, isn't
Yep.
he? He's gonna...
The best
local.
thing about all this, we did it in the middle of the day. It wasn't even at night.
I say we do it at night.
Okay, so when you say physically couldn't move, like you couldn't move, I don't know quite how to word it. Like you didn't want to, or you couldn't.
No, I wanted to, but I physically couldn't make myself go into the tunnel. I could walk back, I could walk side to side, but I couldn't.
But it just wouldn't let you.
I just couldn't walk in. Like something was stopping me.
Like a
And
force
I
against you, or just
Fear.
like
Fear
yeah.
fear in my mind. Like you find you just come up to it and all hairs on your body stood up. Bear in mind this is middle of a bright summer's sunny day, and you just got the chills walking up to it. And I've been looking at videos and stuff of people exploring it today, and it sent me absolutely fearful again, just looking at the picture at tunnel and people inside it. Like, horrible feeling.
What was your state of mind prior to, so on the way up there? Was you scared about going? Was you just like, nah, this is just going to be a bit of bants? Like, how was you feeling?
Bit of bants, bit anxious, but I think everyone is. You're walking through a 1.5 2-mile tunnel that's pitch black all the way through with tiny flashlights that you can barely
That's
see.
going to be
in
scary
dark.
enough without a story of a ghost attached to it, or
Yeah,
a spirit attached
then
to it, to be fair. Yeah.
Just this little girl, and apparently there were big holes in there at the time, and there was a possibility she fell into one of them. The holes aren't there now, so I don't know how true that is, but it was just an old disbanded railway tunnel.
I say we do it.
I've had I'll be down for that. I'll be down for it. I've had an experience in a tunnel, for want of better wording.
Oh, wow.
Myself.
We're at Vicky's tunnel.
Yeah, it wasn't. I can't remember what this tunnel was called. It was part of this thing I went away with school. You send you away for a week to do some activity thing at some place. I went biking, and we went. I might have explained this story in a previous podcast, but the guy that was taking us on this bike trek sent us through this long tunnel one at a time, and told us a story about some train robber that was getting away from the police, and he hid inside like a little alcove inside the tunnel. But while he was still in there, they barriered him in because he was hiding. He didn't come out. And as you bike through it, you genuinely do feel like a force pulling you towards the point where they said this guy was trapped and died in. Quite famous train thief or something. And obviously me being young me, I was like, yeah, whatever. Let me just go through the tunnel already because the guy's telling me I have to. But I did feel myself being pulled towards it. I don't know if it's because I'm expecting it or if it was actually some sort of trickery of magnets or whatever. I don't know, or if there was something to it. But yeah, like, because you mentioned tunnel and I've had that experience in a tunnel before, I am not just going to be like rejecting that idea of going. I am actually quite interested in going to see what that's about.
Supernatural magnetism.
I'll try it again, but whew,
I think we should do it
I
at
promise
night.
I'll go in.
I think you'll
We'll
be
get
better at
cameraed up.
night. I think you'll feel
Yeah,
loads
go at
better
night,
at
get cameraed up.
Yeah.
We'll get a crew of us together.
Yeah, we just need
Okay.
some night vision cameras, really.
What are the GoPros like in night? I don't know.
I'm not sure they've got a night vision setting on them. I'll have to check it. But
I know mine hasn't.
we can have a GoPro with a torch. But it,
GoPro torch, helmet cam, body cam.
yeah.
I got S20. That might have some sort of night thing on it. It's got a crazy camera.
The thing is, I've got the baby monitor that we've got upstairs is night vision. But you need to.
the ghost hunting tools
yeah.
that you have to come up with using.
But you have to keep that plugged in. So I guess I could take it with a power pack.
bank.
Yeah. Because it's USB.
Yeah, yeah.
So that would work, and I'm getting a free one for writing a review. So we could use that, and that's a 360 spinny one. So that'd be pretty good.
Nice.
But there's also animal ones that you can buy that are like 40 quid off Amazon. You meant to just attach them to tree trunks, and
Right, yeah, I've seen it.
the motion sort of
nature
detectors.
documentaries.
But I think you can turn the motion capture off and just have it on a constant record. So if we can get a couple of those, I reckon we could
That'd
do
be pretty
this.
Cool.
And
We're gonna want if we're going at night, we're gonna want lots of light, and it's a dark tunnel. We're gonna need loads of lighting anyway, so I don't think we're gonna need like super night vision-y stuff.
yeah, but
Because we're all gonna have our own lights.
when you're in
lights,
pitch
obviously.
black, though, your torch doesn't really travel that far, does it? It kind of gets eaten by the
I
darkness.
wouldn't know, bro. I don't
Yeah.
go anywhere that requires a torch.
No.
I'm like,
Unless you get like
I
a
just-
super powerful torch, which I think
Yeah.
could ruin the sort of experience. So I'll
100%.
I'll look into night vision equipment that we can get that's affordable. But I think we should
It's
do
the
it.
first time anybody's ever said that to me in a conversation I'm having with them. I'll look into the night vision stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that'd be pretty cool. And we wouldn't be going against Boris's things either, because we're meeting outdoors and there'll be less than 6 of us.
Correct.
So,
Sound.
but it will be after 10 p.m. and I've heard that COVID comes out after 10 p.m. So go for the short
COVID.
guy.
Not
Only
Vicky.
only if you're in a pub.
Oh yeah. Sorry if you're in a pub. Yeah, so we'll be fine because we're in a tunnel, Vicky's tunnel.
And my area is still level 1.
Where do you live?
Ah.
Oh yeah, don't say that because
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah, I don't want to have to accidentally not edit that
Yeah.
out. But which
Yeah.
is quite surprising though, because they said that Northeast Derbyshire is tier 2. And
Yeah. Everywhere around me is tier 2, except where I am.
Yeah.
I'm still classed as tier 1 for now.
so technically I could just come to your house and come inside.
Yeah.
Oh, for God's
That
sake.
makes sense, doesn't it? That makes sense. That I could potentially have it in my tier 2 area, but I could go around to Steve's house and go into his house and it's all good. But if Steve comes to my house and comes inside, no, fines.
That's
Aren't
it.
you
I'm
allowed?
gonna catch
Aren't
it.
you only allowed out of the area if you're working though? Isn't that not one of the rules?
No, not yet.
That's
I don't think.
tier 3, isn't it?
That's tier.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, it's tier 3, tier 2, and tier 1. So you'll be in tier 3, Steve.
Okay.
Tier 3 is like the
I'm
lowest.
in the low. I'm
Yeah.
in the lowest,
So-
whichever that is.
Tier 1's like pretty much full regional lockdown, local lockdown. Tier 2 is like you're not allowed to play Tensile Tennis. Tensile Tennis? Hell,
I was gonna say?
What's
What's
tonsil
that?
tennis?
What the hell?
Tonsil Tennis.
Tonsil
Tonsil tennis?
Yeah, I'm editing that out. Tensile Tennis. So yeah, Steve's got to go now, so we'll just wrap up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I just have your story. And
I feel closer to Steve after that. Yeah,
yeah, cool.
definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
And we've got a plan for future content.
Exactly.
Mate, so you've already done like more than I have.
Fuck off, Ryan. You bought a
You're
microphone.
brilliant. I like listening to you.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm going to like listening to you too when it gets uploaded to Spotify.
They're all up on Spotify.
Okay,
They are.
cool.
That's where I've listened to the previous ones.
So, guys, thank you for listening to the latest in the Sleepy Talk podcast. We've probably come up with more ideas for future podcasts and videos than we ever have done previously. So, thanks to my boy Steve for jumping in and changing the way that we do things.
No problem. I just hope people like the way I do things.
So, Mother, I know you're listening because you're a good mother and you listen to these podcasts. Comment down below when you'd like to join. And if you do have a laptop, I think you might have a laptop, but still, if you do, I'll just swing a microphone round to your house. But I won't be allowed in because, yeah, tier two. And yeah, if you want us to, oh wait, I could drop Scarlet off though. Because it's childcare, counts as childcare, so we'll do that.
Are you just having like a conversation with your mom over the phone, but not on the phone, and your mom's not here?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's how strange we are. So if you'd like us to explore Vicky's tunnel, wink wink, cheeky face, comment down below. If you like Steve, comment down below. If you don't like Steve, comment down below. We basically, comment, please. I like...
If there's anything I can do to improve, let me know.
You could comment.
No.
Oh.
I've been commenting a little bit recently.
I'll help. I'll comment, don't worry.
Have you noticed how I respond to every comment, guys?
Yeah, to be fair, the only reason why I started commenting on anything on YouTube is because people commented on my videos, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to reply, and I'm like, okay, like I understand now, like what people want. It's not like, I'm gonna take part because I understand what it's like being a creator and just being out there alone. It's always nice when people talk to you. So I'm going to talk back now.
Yeah, it's a great feeling, especially when you're getting constructive criticism. Not bad criticism, but constructive, Because for all I know, I'm doing something wrong or I'm doing something right. And I'd like to know which one. Please, give me attention. Please. So
It's all you ever want.
It's all I ever need. So we'll end it there. Thank you for listening and take care. I didn't even mean for that to rhyme.
Bars.
Sick bars.